All right, we are live now. So this is Indie Talk with Jesse and Jeryn featuring Academy wrestler Nick Pride. How's it going, Nick?
Really good. So far, so good. Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. We decided. I mean, yeah, you've been pretty, or it's been Oh man, I'm already. It's
Come
already
on, Jeryn, get with it.
get with it. Yeah. Yeah, you've been pretty hot lately in the MAW starting off. You're still really new and you've been doing a great job. We both saw you last time at MAW.
Mm,
Do you smell what the chef is cooking? You were a replacement for Mr. Anderson, so we did
Yeah,
not expect you to come out for that. That was really
mm,
crazy.
yeah.
yeah. That was a kind of huge moment for me. I was surprised as much as myself as anyone else. I think.
Yeah.
Huge honor that MAW let me do that, and I'm just really grateful for the opportunity. And I just hope I didn't disappoint anybody. Most of all, my coach, who I'm replacing in that match. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some big shoes to fill, Mr. Ken Anderson. So, and last minute, that's got to be pretty scary. So, hmm
A little nerve wracking. Yeah.
But
hmm
we'll say,
yeah. Yeah. And we thought, yeah, just thought it was an overall awesome match. And
mm,
actually, before that, we saw Mr. Brandon Kenny out there as a referee. So,
yeah,
and then we transformed it to Nick Pride. So, yeah.
Yeah, that again, that was kind of crazy. It's just a fun little spot that the referee turned wrestler. I think like everyone goes huge for it, and it's always like this big surprise. Like I wasn't expecting like everyone to actually pop for me like that, and that was very a humbling moment in and of itself. And there was like what 500 plus people there that night,
believe
400 plus,
so.
500 plus,
Yeah,
and
that's a lot.
they popped for the ref who let two heels go over earlier in the night. So
Yeah,
that
that's insane. Mm-hmm.
that was a a big moment for me, and it was very. I'm very grateful for the wrestling community for giving me that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And you definitely were. I don't think you didn't disappoint during that. That was really awesome. You came out of the gate just. I don't think Cordoba expected it either, and certainly not Ying Mu out there. So yeah, hmm
Mhm.
yeah, it's really cool. So
Those dastardly heels, man. What could I
hmm
tell you?
hmm yeah, definitely. Brandon says, "What's up,
Hey,
Jesse, Jaron,
Brandon.
and Nick?" He's someone who watches our podcasts a lot and also runs his own podcast. So
Oh,
really cool dude. So
Yeah,
yeah.
really nice.
hmm Uh, Before we went live, you said this is your first official podcast interview, and
yeah.
yeah, it's got to be exciting to get out there just to start talking on shows. So, what are your thoughts on doing that?
Oh, on doing podcasts. I think this is definitely a new skill that when I was training, I did not expect I needed in my repertoire to just be able to sit down and talk to people normally.
Mhm.
I feel like, well, I've gotten by life pretty good so far without needing to do that. But no, here we are. Now I need to talk to people. Now I need to
Mhm.
learn how to do that. And so that's another humbling experience, another learning opportunity.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun to get to talk about wrestling, especially with people who, like-minded fans.
Mhm.
I'm a wrestler, but I'm also a fan as much as anybody else. And when you're talking about the stuff you love, you just get excited about it. And so this is it's I'm a little nervous, but I'm definitely having a lot of fun.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And yeah, first podcast, but a few months ago, like the exact date was March 26th. You got to be on Michael Pam's Michael's Corner. How was that being on that at the end of that MIW show?
Again, like similarly nerve-wracking, similarly eye-opening experience of this is part of it. You have to do this now. You got to learn how to do the thing where you talk to people like a normal person. And it was, again, like another experience I'm very grateful for, and it seems to be going well. I actually just got a text from Michael earlier today. Like he thanked me again for doing the interview, and I'm like, I thanked him for letting me do the interview. You know, it's a great experience, a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I've been following Michael's stuff. He seems to be pretty successful with it, and being able to do live interviews after the show is really cool. So, been doing a great job with that, and I guess just a good shout out to Michael's Corner. Go check it out on YouTube. So,
Yep, for
yeah.
sure.
All right, I'll let you go, Jesse.
All right. So a certain somebody told me that one of your inspirations of getting into professional wrestling was Chris Jericho. How did that come about? And I'm sure you know who told me that.
I have an idea who. Yeah. What came about that was just when I started getting into wrestling when I was younger. Chris Jericho was just one of those presence, people with presence.
Right.
One of those characters that, like, you knew when he grabbed the microphone, like you were going to be entertained, and his in-ring performance was always so just fun to watch too. He was the one of like the characters in WWE for a while, and watching him being able to grow and change and evolve himself to adapt to the business and just to change his character to stay relevant. It is that sort of that progress, that ability to continue with something you love and be able to change along with it, to be able to stay relevant and stay fresh, just to stay fresh and new and exciting and coming up with these new ideas. That was a lot of fun to watch. That creativity, that creativity is something that it really draws you in. It really makes you want to see what's going to come next. And now he's all that stuff he did in WWE. Now he's doing similar stuff in AEW, from Le Champion to now being the sports entertainer. Like, again, he keeps coming up with these ideas, and it's that is inspiring, that creativity. You like being able to watch somebody else work a craft that they love. You watching a painter who absolutely loves to paint, or a sculptor who can, you can just see like the gears turning in their head because it's a thing that they love, and to watch them enjoy that process. It's one of the big reasons why you're a fan of any wrestler, because you get to see that creative process. But Chris Jericho is one of the more, I think, prominent examples of that creativity.
Yeah. Jericho, he's probably the master of creativity and reinvention at this point. He's had to have had at least 10 or more different characters or versions of himself by now, and in a matter of like 30 plus years. So it's really insane how he does that, and he's still doing it. He reinvented himself again just a few weeks ago, when he formed the Jericho Appreciation Society. So it is really cool to see how he's doing that, and definitely an inspiration to all, and especially you. So yeah. What's in the comments? Brandon says, what is Nick's dream match?
Oh my goodness. My dream match is pretty much anybody who I feel like is just that like next tier level that I'm trying to get to. Like if I had that opportunity to wrestle Chris Jericho, that would be great. Jay Lethal, I think, is one of those guys that is just next level entertainer, like on par with Chris Jericho. And just anyone who could push me to that next level. I'd say, like, right now, my answer might be different tomorrow, but right now, Jericho or Jay Lethal would be like Like if I had the opportunity to pick an opponent and like money wasn't an issue, then I'd say Jay Lethal or Jericho for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, those are two awesome wrestlers and definitely next level guys. So, and it could be possible since if Jericho does if he starts doing dark matches and if Nick Pride does AEW dark, as they've been given opportunities to these local guys. So yeah, I think it would be awesome to see. So yeah. That's just crazy to see how AEW is giving these opportunities to the local guys. And I mean, I keep mentioning this all the time. AEW is at Target Center, and in November there's like 5 or 6 Minnesota Midwest guys, and it was just cool to see them. And I really hope that they continue to do that, and especially just continue the Midwest area as well. So yeah. What else is going on? So
Chavo, he says, damn, this chat has a problem. Well, that doesn't look like Paul Burt sitting here, Chavo. This is Nick Pride. Show some respect.
Yeah. Paul Verk is not here currently.
Come on, Chavo.
Now, I don't know, guys. Like Paul Verk did save my hide against Cordoba and Ying. I don't know.
That is true. Yeah.
I could be an affiliate to the problem.
Yeah. Paul Verk is watching, according to Chavo.
Prove it, Chavo. I want to see Paul Verk come into the chat and say something.
I think
Chavo, you're lying to us.
I think you're being called out, guys. I think you're being called out. You want to say something?
So.
Oh, there he is. I thought they were
Paul.
watching Chavo's phone or something. So, yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, we were just talking about the MAW, the recent MAW show. Mr. Paul Verk came out to help Nick Pride against Cordoba and Ying Mua, as Cordoba and Ying Mua they weren't very positive about that ending of the match, and they just decided to attack poor Nick Pride. Paul Verk comes out, and it's all pandemonium unleashes. So, yeah. And Paul Verk says, Chavo, you right.
Okay, Chavo, we owe you an apology on this one.
We do. We just wanted the proof, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome that you could join us, Chavo and Paul and Brandon. So, and more that haven't commented yet. So, yeah. All right. Let's go back to the beginning. Talk about how you got into watching wrestling and the beginning training steps to being a wrestler.
Oh, well, you usually get into it when you're young, right? So when I was 10 or 11 is when I really started getting into wrestling. It was at the time in our house absolutely forbidden by mom and dad. It was one of those things you don't watch because I had 3 brothers, and we if you watch like Power Rangers or something like that, it just inspires violence, so absolutely no conditions was wrestling allowed. And it was Thanksgiving. SmackDown was on. This was when SmackDown. Yeah, you all good? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I pressed like the option button on accident. I was like, what did I just do? Whoops. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, all good.
Hands off keyboard. All right. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, it was Thanksgiving, which on Thursday nights, which at the time that's when SmackDown was airing on UPS. I think it was their network at the time, or at least it was in my area. And the family was over, like all of the extended relatives were over for Thanksgiving, and I was just flipping through channels, and hey, there was SmackDown that was on, and I believe I asked, hey, could I just watch wrestling just for tonight, just this one time?
Right.
And the parents were unsure, but the relatives were like, oh, come on, it's Thanksgiving. And it's been every week since. It's just been the floodgates were open, You know, you gave an inch and I took a mile. You know, that's
Yeah.
what happened. And so, yeah, and then what do four rambunctious boys who are wrestling fans do? You practice all the crazy moves you've seen on TV, jumping off couches, slamming each other in the living room, going outside and throwing sticks at each other and pretending they're kendo sticks. You know, that sort of deal. You know, not like backyard wrestling, but just like goofing off and things like that. And you know, and then what if that like little childhood itch just never quite leaves your skin? It just stays there, just itches for a long time until eventually, you know, there comes a point where there came a point where I just had to decide, well, I'm either going to do it now or I'm never going to do it. And if I decided never to pursue wrestling, would I be okay with that? And I thought about it and I thought that, you know, I didn't think so. I didn't think if I let myself say no to this, I would be okay with that forever. And so I decided to give it a chance. I had initially reached out to Black and Brave, and I'd actually like put down half of the money for tuition already to reserve a room. And then, you know, life happens and it just didn't quite work out. Like that wasn't going to like Black and Brave just wasn't going to be feasible for my schedule at the time because I got a new job and it took a lot of my time and the hours just couldn't work. And so we needed to find I needed to find a different path. And then Ken Anderson's Academy of Professional Wrestling sort of came on the horizon. And like my wife and I were looking at the logistics and okay, Black and Brave is out. There's no way I could actually do that. But with my wife's college at the time, it was most opportune to move here to Minnesota. And it's like everything was falling into place. But everyone's heard like stories about like bad wrestling schools and things like that. So I decided I needed to check it out. I needed to check it out one time before I fully commit to this. And I went there. I made an appointment just to observe the class. And I went in, I was observing it, and I felt like I was home. I just felt like this was perfect. It reminded me of back when I used to take karate all the time. I practiced martial arts and taught martial arts for a number of years, and it just reminded me of that. It felt like I was home again. And that's when I knew. That's when I knew this was going to be it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, speaking of Black and Brave, we've actually had one of their graduates on here, Valentina Loca, who's traveled the Midwest area, mainly, I think, Iowa right now, but she comes to Minnesota occasionally. But yeah, Black and Brave, definitely an awesome school. But I mean, in terms of schedule, yeah, it's understandable. And I mean, the academy is, I mean, it's probably the best thing around here, honestly. So yeah, the academy, we've seen so many stars come out of there now on AEW or just big in the Midwest in general. So it's definitely awesome that you chose the academy. So yeah. Matthew says, Nick, you had a great match. I think you meant last Saturday, but very proud of you. So that's what Matthew says.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Mr.
so fresh as to show up.
So fresh. Oh man.
Fresh, I'm telling you, I have no idea who Brandon is. Okay, I don't know the guy.
You know,
all right. Me and him,
Back
nothing. I have no clue. I'm not him. I don't even think I look like him. Please stop harassing me with this.
Please stop. Oh, he's
this
been
is
here.
This is kind of like the Kevin Owens and the Ezekiel and Elias thing.
Oh yeah.
I know. Like I don't get it. Like, what's the similarity? Like, Elias had it like this beard and like different tights and everything, and Ezekiel, like fresh, he looks so much younger, so much healthier. Like, no, not even close.
Yeah,
like Hulk Hogan and Mr. America. No.
yeah.
That's a good point.
Right. Or even Kevin Owens and his older brother Ken. So, oh man. So fresh says, why am I the only one who sees this? That's Brandon Kenny, the same ref that keeps screwing the bad role models. Uh-oh.
I mean, I actually did look in the record for MAW, their past few shows. Apparently, Brandon Kinney has been reffing their matches, and every match he's ref, they've never won. This is, you can look that up, but I don't see why I have anything to do with this. This is projecting. He's looking for someone to blame for his shortcomings, and it's unhealthy. Really, it's kind of sad.
Oh man, I think that answers that. So fresh. Brandon and Nick are not the same person. So Nick doesn't even know who he is. So yeah, he just keeps saying his name. That's the only reason how he knows. So yeah. Oh man. APW owner Pete King says hi. So he always,
Pete.
Yeah, he owns a company over in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. So it's really cool to have Pete here. Oh no, Pete King with the chat. Oh no,
stirring that pot again, Pete. Stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot.
Come on, Soul Rush. Come on now.
Oh, DNA
test coming soon.
I'm not paying for it. Those are expensive.
Well, I mean, So Fresh is international celebrity. I'm sure he can pay for it somehow.
Yeah, he's like a really big party guy. Like, he goes to a lot of parties, I hear. Like, exclusive ones. I hear he gets invited to parties so exclusive he's the only one who shows up.
Oh man, must be a pretty good party, So Fresh. So. Oh man, yeah, good comments, guys. Oh, Jane says maybe they are cousins or something. Brandon and Nick.
He could have been at that Thanksgiving meal. I honestly don't remember. It was so long ago.
Maybe he was. Maybe that's how he got into wrestling and being a referee.
Would you look at that same origin story? That's fun.
Oh man, yeah. All right, Jesse.
All right, so Brandon had a question earlier, and Jeryn, you're gonna love this one. He was asking Nick, how cool would it be to have your own action figure?
How cool would it be to have my own action figure?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It would be one of those next level surreal things. Like, it would, if it happened, I'm not sure I would believe it happened at first. I would have to see it to believe it. But if there was an action figure of me, that's like, that's next level. That would be amazing. If I did have an action figure, could it have like a button that can give me like karate chop action? You know, I think that'd be a hot seller. Personally, I'd buy 2 of those.
That would be a pretty good seller. Oh man, karate chop Nick Pride toy. It's on its way, guys. Oh man.
Let Jeryn put that on your to-do list.
Let's put it on my to-do list. Yeah. If anybody that doesn't know the 8 people on Facebook, some on Instagram here, I know a guy. People confuse him too, like how people confuse Brandon and Nick, but people think Jeryn and the Phenomenal Figures are the same guy. I'm in good close contact with him, but I might have to tell him about a Nick Pride figure coming on the ways. So Yeah.
And do so fresh a favor and make a Brandon Kinney figure so that you can compare the two, so he can see that they're not the same.
Oh yeah, I might. He might have to do that too. So, yeah. Josh Ulrich says he'd buy an action figure. So, yeah.
Thank you, Josh. I
Thank
love
you,
you, buddy.
Josh. Yeah. All right. How would you describe the wrestling character of Nick Pride?
I would describe the wrestling character of Nick Pride as somebody who really wants what's best for wrestling. And I know that's a weird way to, this might be a weird way to put it, but there are issues in wrestling that feel like it always seems to invoke the question, like when somebody does something that's so like dastardly or heelish or something that's just so backwards thinking, you got to ask, where's your pride? Where is your pride when it comes to this business? Like, what are you thinking when you're trying to do these underhanded things or these things that are just so morally repulsive that, you know, somebody has to make them answer for that, make people answer for that sort of thing. And that's who I'd say Nick Pride is, somebody who wants to make people realize they're in the wrong. They're overstepping. They need to be put back in line a little bit, smartened up.
Okay. Yeah.
Take pride in what you do. You know, this is a sport. It has rules. It has honor. It should have honor anyway. And there's a right way and a wrong way to do things.
Okay. Yeah. I think that is a great way to put it, and definitely good description of Nick Pride. So, yeah. Oh, so
He's
fresh.
Starting up again.
There he goes. He says he would describe the character of Nick Pride as Brandon Kenny.
You know, like I think he has kind of a point to there. Brandon Kinney has been, in my experience, a very, very down the middle, no nonsense referee, and you know, he has shown that he has a lot of pride in this business.
Yeah, definitely. From the times I've seen him, he's definitely an awesome ref. So, yeah, I think So Fresh just likes to complain about him for some reason. So, yep. All right, Jesse.
So, what do you think of Crixus being in MAW now?
I think this is a just a tremendous boon for MAW. Crixus has been wrestling for a long time, and I think just having somebody with that kind of experience will force the entire roster to elevate itself, and it's going to just bring a new dynamic to matches, and it's going to make people just step up their game. This is going to be an interesting time for MAW. Like, it's already very interesting times for MAW, but it's going to come to this point where like these new wrestlers are coming in to MAW, like Nick Pride, Crixus, and anybody from the academy who is ready to take the opportunity to step up and try that new challenge of MAW and kind of fill out that pool of wrestlers and talent and the dynamics and personalities and just these new challenges, the exciting challenges ahead for MAW.
Yeah. I think definitely there's so many great things happening with MAW, and everyone wants to be a part of it. So it's awesome that people are getting invested, and that's how a company grows. So yeah. Oh, Jane says you talked about Jericho being an inspiration. Do you have any other inspirations in wrestling?
Oh, a ton. There's you can't swing a stick around in a locker room without like hitting somebody who for some reason or another has influenced my outlook on wrestling in some way. You've got like Eddie Guerrero was a big one for me back in the day. I loved Eddie Guerrero. Watching his like ability to like his athleticism was just out there. The way his inventiveness, the way he can tell a story in the ring, it was just amazing. And you had to just sit down and soak in every second of it. You didn't want to miss a thing when it came to Eddie Guerrero. Old legends such like Bruno Sammartino or Buddy Rogers, just the influence that these guys have had on the industry. It can't be overstated how they've shaped this industry. Roddy Piper, the way he can work a microphone, the way he can whip a crowd into a frenzy. I love listening to Roddy Piper promos and interviews and like when there was a Christmas one year where I was very surprised. I asked for a Roddy Piper like DVD set that was coming out at the time. I never expected to get it because my family we didn't have like a lot of money growing up, so like to kind of I just put it out there. I wasn't expecting to get it, and then lo and behold, I open this present. I get it Christmas, and there it is. And I just watch that the promos and the matches just over and over and over again, just like letting like Roddy Piper's like his charisma just sink in, and that's like again like he was huge for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Piper definitely big inspiration. Definitely a big inspiration. The current AEW superstar CM Punk. So he's inspired so many generations. Yeah. Great question, Gene. All right, Jesse.
Yeah. So when the academy shut down during the pandemic, you continued your training, but you got injured. How was Greg Gagne involved in that?
Oh wow. Okay. Let's see. So Greg Gagne, he was. This was shortly before the academy had closed down when COVID hit. Greg Gagne would come over. He had a protege at the time that he was developing, and while he was there, he was like offering training to anybody who pretty much wanted it. And I decided to take part in that training. And we were just practicing bumps, right? We were practicing how to like land correctly and
right.
And just learning to take bumps. And we were doing flip bumps. You know, you jump, you do a flip in the air, you land on your back, and you try to do it all safely. And every time I did one, like Greg Gagne would like look at me, he's like, jump higher. Like, oh, okay, yeah. So I would wait my turn. I would jump again. Boom. I'd land. He'd come back. Jump higher. And so okay. I jumped even higher. Landed. Waited for a response. The response was, jump higher. You got to get higher than that. You're not getting high enough. Get higher. And so finally, I'm like, okay. And I just spring out, just swan dive as high as I possibly can. And, you know, I spring up and I spring down, but I'm not quite flipped all the way, and I land directly on my head. It was, I'm not going to lie, it was scary. It was really scary. I landed and it was almost cartoonish how I landed. I landed on my head like a Looney Tune lands on their head, just like boing, and I just stayed there. I just stayed there, like upright on my head for a solid 3 seconds before I collapsed onto the ground. And I experienced what I think is called a stinger. Every muscle in my body simultaneously just flexed, and I couldn't move. I seriously could not move. and I was exhaling all of the air in my body. And in my mind, I'm going, okay, you can't move and you're losing air. Don't panic. Just get up. And I try to move and I can't. I'm paralyzed. I literally cannot move. And then back zooming back into my head, I'm like, okay, you can't move. That's all right. This will pass. Breathe. And I tried to intake air. I'm not intaking air. I am not breathing. I am not moving. And back in my head, I go, I don't know what to do. And my eyes roll in the back of my skull and I pass out. And and I come to, I'm not really sure how much time has passed. I don't think it was any more than a minute. It could have been just 30 seconds. And I immediately get up and I start like semi panicking, just wondering what just happened. And my body was apparently moved from the middle of the ring to the side of the ring. And I'm laying on the apron and I just get up and I'm wondering what happened, and everyone's still doing flip bumps. Everyone is still doing the flip bumps that they just saw me, for all they knew, just broke my neck. For like they didn't know what just happened. No, that's not even the best part. Like Greg thought that I had just knocked the wind out of me really hard, right? He saw me land on my head and he just thought I knocked my wind out. He comes over to me when I'm paralyzed and not breathing, goes, "You knocked the wind out of you, didn't you, son?" And I'm just, I can't even lock eyes with him because I just don't have control of any part of my body. And then he's like, oh, he takes a step back, I pass out. That's what I pass out. And
there you
go. Anastasia comes over to me, Ken's wife, and like asks, "Hey, you okay?" I'm trying to like figure that out. It's like, "Yeah, I think I'm okay." She's like, "Do you need like Tylenol or something?" It's like, "No, I'm good." I climb back in the ring. And suddenly my entire back like spasms out in pain as I'm just racked with pain. And I go into the office. I go to where Ken and Anastasia is, and I say, yeah, I think I'll take you up on those pills. And so I take a couple Tylenol. And Ken was in the office the whole time. He had no idea what happened. He's got his cup of water, right? He's drinking like it. So what happened? Why do you need pills? Oh, yeah, I botched a flint bump, landed on my head, and passed out. And I have never seen a man do 3 simultaneous spit takes in my life while trying to take a drink. Because as he was asking, the cup was in his mouth. And he's like every sentence that came out, it was just I thought he was like about to just spit it all back out. And but yeah, that was how I injured myself. I got an X-ray and I found that I had compressed my T6 through T9 vertebrae, and I took a list of like physical therapy exercises home, and COVID it hit fairly soon after that, and this shut everything down, and so that really sucked. But in a sense, for like as far as my injury goes, like this was sort of a blessing in disguise, because this gave me time to work on getting my back together and getting it back into ring shape. And that took some time. It did not stop me from taking body slams from Leonard Literacy 2 days later, but when I was practicing at MIW, because like you had said before, I had still managed to find time to practice when I would just like go to shows and help out with ring crew and stuff. And I'd go to the promoters, I'd tell them who I am and try to help out, and so they let me practice in the ring with some of the wrestlers. And yeah, 2 days later, I'm taking body slams from Leonard Literacy, and one of the strongest guys on the indies right now. Right Midwest, Yeah. And so that is the story of how I had injured myself trading with Greg Gagne. Now, like, I don't like for the record, like, I'm not blaming Greg for any of this. Like, I botched the bump. I messed it up, and so that was my mistake, and I blame and none of it on Greg.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That was definitely interesting to listen to, and I don't know how he thought you like passed out after landing on your neck. That seems odd that he would just think you just passed out after your head landing on your head.
No, he thought I'd knocked the wind out of me. And to be fair, I had no wind in me because I could not breathe. So he was kind of right.
Part of it. Yeah, I guess he was right with that. So, jeez, yeah, huh? That wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't even have words for that.
Jeryn, before you do your next question, there's a certain promoter here in the chat room that is offering you work, Nick. If you want to make it to Chippewa, it's APW for June 19th. And then there's a guy by the name of Tom Burdick that says, come to WGW.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at my books. And if you guys want to shoot me up on Facebook, I would definitely think, like, yeah, if I can make it, absolutely. I don't have my books with me right now, but yeah, but I am definitely interested.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, WGW is also Wrestling Gone Wild. So Tom Burdick runs that company. So yeah, I think it would be cool to see you in those promotions as well. So branch out and do more Midwest work, and I mean, still continue MIW and MEW, but I mean, it'd be pretty cool to see you in other territories as well. So yeah, good job for the plugs there, Pete and Thomas. So yeah. Thomas, aka Leonard Literacy, says, who are some upcoming wrestlers you are excited to mix it in the ring with, MAW and other promotions?
Oh my goodness. There's a lot. Like, I was actually thinking about that earlier today. I'm like, Petey Brown is like somebody I've not gotten the chance to face yet, and like he's like huge around here, as everybody knows, and he would be great because he's like somebody who kind of does everything around here, and like and makes it look like no big deal, and that would be kind of huge. Just to be in the same room with him for a while and just talk to him about like everything he's done and like everything he's learned. He also, like, I think he does some booking in other companies as well. I'm like, this guy does everything, and so he's the way he connects to the fans, and just the kind of atmosphere, just the kind of aura he could create. That would be pretty huge for me, I think. I haven't fought Leonard Linus yet. Definitely, I think we could have a lot of fun. Cordoba was, he was one that before I wrestled him, I was very much looking forward to like working with him. Ying Mua definitely is on my radar now. Let's see, like pretty much all of the MAW and MIW rosters right now, because they're the guys I work with the most at the moment. I would love to tangle it up with more of those guys. I would love another chance to work with Ryan Cruz, because I wrestled him once, and that was a huge nerve-wracking match for me, because this was basically the promoter saying, I'm pushing you out of your comfort zone to wrestle this guy. If this is a bad match, it's your fault. You know, it's not, Ryan Cruz isn't gonna wrestle a bad match. No, if that was a stinker, it was my head. You know.
Yeah. I mean, those are all awesome wrestlers, and Ryan Cruz definitely awesome. If you did mess up, it would be interesting to to see how he would react if it was a bad match or anything. So yeah. And yeah, PD Brown, we've had him on the show a few times. Both we've seen him in person so many times. For some, I think it was like 7 years ago. He's still in the Midwest, runs or booker. He's a booking for the American Wrestling Federation, AWF. So he does it all. So yeah. All right. P King says, back off, he's mine, Tom Burdick. Mm-hmm. Oh man.
You guys,
Yeah.
you guys are
Fighting
making
for
me
Nick already.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick's an awesome wrestler, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now literacy's like, man, you got promoters fighting over you. Take pride in that, LOL. Oh man. Yeah.
You guys are really making me blush now.
Oh man. And now I'm reading Instagram comments. The Summit, Joseph Alexander and Derek Fury say APW do it. Wrestling Gone Wild is also awesome. So yeah, you got the Summit that wants you going places as well. So yeah.
Thank you guys, and like this means a lot because there's the Midwest has such an awesome wrestling community, and just in the last hour, I'm watching like all of these people in the chat like be so supportive, and that really means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Keep it coming, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we were talking about MIW and MEW. Talk about your relationship with. Well, first, MIW. Talk about your relationship with them and how you started working with MIW.
With MIW, they really like opened the door for me to just begin working. Just one day out of the blue, Terry Fox, the promoter, shows up to the academy and just says, "Hey, listen, I'm looking for some guys for ring crew. And if you stick with me, you help me out, I'll take care of you." And I was the only guy in class, I think, that took him up on that offer. And so I show up and I start helping with ring crew. And so this opens the door for me to continue practicing during COVID and everything. And soon after that, I asked, "Hey, could I possibly referee some matches?" And and they let me. They actually let me ref some matches, and so that's how I got my foot in the door. I showed up. I just put myself out there a little bit, and it paid off. It's actually kind of a funny story. My first match I ever refed, it was Garrison Creed versus El Bano, right? And so a really fun match. It was a comedy match more than anything else. But at the end of the match, Bano like hits his finisher on Garrison Creed, pins him, and his mariachi music starts to play, is blaring in the arena, and he's like one of the most popular guys on the MIW roster, and so everyone's cheering their heads off. And Garrison Creed is on the mat, and he's trying to tell me something, and I can't hear a word he's saying over the mariachi music and screaming fans. And I try to, I ask him again, like, what did he say? And he mouths something again, and I can't hear it. And I'm like, I should go now. I really need to go. I can't. It looks weird that I'm standing here, and so I leave. I go to the back, and Bano comes through the curtain. He steps aside, and then Garrison Creed flies through the curtain, grabs me by the scruff of my neck, and pins me against a wall, and says, "I told you to carry me out of there." And like, oh yeah, he just took Banyo's finisher. He should be limping. He should be limping out of there, right? He should not be going out by himself. And then like it all clicked, right? Like that was my bad. That was yeah. That's something. It's a fun story, but it's also something I'm going to be kicking myself about forever. The first opportunity I get to be part of a wrestling match, even if it's a referee. And I just like, I feel like I blew something that I thought that in hindsight should have been obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for anybody that doesn't know, Garrison Creed is not a small guy, so having him pin you against the wall, that would not be fun. Yeah,
he's a great guy. He really is. It's just like heat of the moment sort of deal.
Right. Yeah, and it makes sense. So, yeah, and yeah, Albano probably the most, at least for I've only seen him in MIW, but yeah, pretty much the most popular guy there. He gets the loudest pops, and kids love him. So, yeah. Literacy says, "Tell the summit we have unfinished business."
That's right.
Uh-oh.
That's right. Mm-hmm. They do, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he also says, "When I tag with pride, the sky's the limit." So, yeah, I might Literacy and pride together. That might be interesting. Yeah. All right, and Jesse.
Yeah. So okay. Pete Kim had a comment. He said, "Land of opportunity." He's talking about APW. So, is there anywhere else you would like to work? Or are you kind of comfortable working with MAW?
I am open to working anywhere that anyone who wants to have me will have me. Like there is no bridge I won't cross for professional wrestling, you know? Like there it's just so much opportunity and so much like just getting to know legends and people and meeting so many great people. Like the MAW and MIW, I think for me are just the start. They're just the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And like, yeah, I don't know what tomorrow will bring. Tomorrow is another opportunity. Tomorrow is something else. Tomorrow, I don't know who I might call, who I might get a call from. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't necessarily expecting like this interview like just a few days ago, but like now I got this interview now, and look at the doors that have opened up for me already, like just these opportunities. And so like when an opportunity comes, I say like go for it, give it a try, and see what happens, see what comes of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's just so many companies in the Midwest, and going to Wisconsin definitely would be a cool thing to work for Pete. And I mean, last Sunday I was just at Below Zero Wrestling in Fargo. I think that would be something cool to do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh man, there's a lot of stuff now.
Now they're coming.
They're coming. Emmy says, "What wrestling moves are you working on adding to your arsenal?"
Oh goodness. I am a constant student as far as I'm concerned. Like I could be in this business for 20, 30 years and there will be always something for me new to learn. So at the moment, I don't know, like I just on the fly, really, I figured out like, I wonder if I could do the sling blade. Hey, you get in the ring. I'm going to practice this move real quick. And I hit it on the guy and it's like, I'm going to hit this on Cordoba. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a good sling blade in the match. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was probably one of my newest moves.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of wrestlers. Or, well, I don't know if a lot, but I mean, there are popular wrestlers that use it. So, yeah, it's definitely a good move. Anne says, "What are some things that inspire you outside of wrestling?"
Oh my goodness. Things that inspire me outside of wrestling. Again, more works of creativity. Every week I play D&D. I'm a huge D&D guy. So and so that's definitely helped. It's helped me be able to talk. It's helped me try to like just sound more natural when I'm just talking to people like this. Like if I didn't have that outlet of creativity, I feel like I would be doing more stuttering stuff like this. You know, I feel like I would be doing that a little bit more. And film and musicals, theater, things like that. Those are all just excellent sources of inspiration for me personally.
Okay.
Art
Yeah.
is a great outlet as well. It just anything that gets you a new perspective, a new idea. Like just listening to like random lectures on YouTube's about any topic you can imagine, and just getting that new insights and seeing like wondering if like somehow you can apply it to the craft of wrestling, because wrestling is just so like it's weird. Okay, wrestling's weird, and so you can just take these like little bits of inspiration you get from like everyday things, or just things that are big and over the top, like film or comic books or things like that, and seeing how you can apply it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a good answer, Anne, but there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do they inspire you to do like creative things in wrestling, like outside of wrestling, putting into wrestling?
I would say absolutely. Like, especially as far as character work goes and doing promo work and things like that, definitely go a long way. Like you watch an actor, you watch somebody on screen act, like you see Denzel Washington, and you just watch how he approaches a scene, and you just like take a moment, and when you're watching these actors do what they do, I like to ask myself, like, why are they doing it that way? What is doing it like this adding to the scene? You know, you've got wrestlers who do like these big over the top personalities and things like that, and then you have, but you don't always see something like that in film. People are more nuanced than that, and I think that's a good direction to go, because like wrestling, like I know WWE a lot of times has these big over the top characters, especially like back in the early 90s and 80s and things like that. But I feel like wrestling has come to a point where you should be able to not this might sound like a bad way to phrase it, but like you don't have to pander to the lowest common denominator. You know, you don't have to make it so bland and universal that there's no room for subtlety.
Oh, yeah. I think it kind of reminds me of I think RVD did a interview with someone. He was talking about how most of the guys he wanted to be different than some of the guys in the locker room. He's like, I don't want to be the guy that's like, I'm gonna rip this guy's throat out, I'm gonna beat him up or something. So I think, this subtlety is definitely a good way to go. So
Yeah, like sidebar, a wrestler who says he's gonna like rip someone's throat out, like when's the last time you've seen a wrestler rip someone's throat off their face, off of their neck? You know, when like you haven't actually ever seen that. Like when they promise they're gonna like mutilate them and kill them, like when was the last time somebody like a wrestler lived up to that? Like that's technically a lie, I think, right?
Yeah, technically, hopefully. Yeah. Oh man. The summit says teaming with Leonard, those doors will close quickly. Leonard will get you hurt. Ask Jerry. Oh, wow.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. I think Leonard's a good guy. He's a good tag team partner.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's been doing pretty. He was the MAW tag champion. So, with Jerry.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just, like Leonard knows his stuff. Leonard's a veteran. I know accidents happen, but I think the summit would do well to remember that.
Yeah. All right, Jesse.
So what do you think of Jerry Ulricher?
What do I think of Jerry Ulricher? So talented. Like the moves this guy can do and how effortless he makes it. Like the guy floats. Gravity. It forgot he existed. You know, the moves this guy can do. Like you can see his gymnast background like really play out in his repertoire. and he's just so fun to watch, in that regard. It's so funny, just he looks like he popped out of Godspell. It's so fun just to watch Jerry be Jerry. It's so fun to talk to him. Like the first conversation I had to him, I wasn't even part of the academy yet, and just like everything he was saying, just so memorable, and he's so kind of off the wall and goofy, but like so endearing at the same time. Great guy.
Yeah, definitely a great guy, and we've seen him a ton of times. Former MAW tag champion, and this great wrestler. I believe today he said him and his band Mr. Rogers Make Believe Friends announced a new single album that they're doing. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
For that. Yeah. Go listen to Jerry and his band. So yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. What else? I think we were talking about promos and podcast stuff. How does the academy train you for making a promo? Like, what are the steps involved? How do you train for that?
Well, we do a promo class, like an entire class just dedicated to the art of delivering promos every week. We do at least one every week and like just going over things like how you're delivering your promo, how you're setting it up. It could be just from the words you're saying to just how you're saying them and everything in between. It's like imagine for a moment the typical structure of a promo, like I just mentioned earlier, like when you mentioned like rip your throat out, I'm gonna rip your throat out and hang you by your entrails, like you never, that's not gonna happen. So probably don't say it, like you're not going to actually kill the guy. You might say something to the effect you're gonna wish you were dead, but you're not actually gonna kill the guy, so it's like you don't need to lie,
Mm-hmm.
You can be honest. You can be honest in the promo. You can be honest about your opponent's like abilities. Like if I am facing somebody that I know is stronger than me, I'll tell them, like, listen, you are stronger than me, but I'm probably smarter than you.
Oh yeah. There
you go. You can be honest about your opponent's abilities, be honest about your own abilities, and make them doubt that, put that little doubt in their head as to why what they're good at isn't going to be good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think wrestlers use that, or not a whole lot, but I mean, I do see it, and they definitely recognize their talents and their capabilities. So I think that does make for a better promo. So yeah. All right. Anne says, speaking of theatrics, how did you pick up your entrance track?
The truth is I haven't. Like I'm not settled. I think I've used like 3 different theme songs already because just like how Chris Jericho like will evolve his character, at the same time it's the search for character. Like I might think I know today what Nick Pride is all about, but will I know that tomorrow? It might be, I might have a different idea of what Nick Pride is all about, and an entrance track, my theme music might change to reflect that, or something about what I'm feeling that day. Like I didn't even have an entrance track when I faced Cordoba. It's just I'm out there and I'm throwing fists, But like in general, I suppose when I am picking something out, I want it to be some kind of reflection of like what this moment means and what I want, what I want people to feel. I want them to feel excited and happy, so that's sort of like what I tend to go for as far as tracks and music.
Yep.
because I'm there, I'm having fun, I am having the time of my life, and I want the fans to have the time of their lives too. I want them to go home with a really fun story to tell, and if music can enhance that, absolutely, 100% go for it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many wrestlers that use unique songs, and some even do. I mean, obviously, WWE they keep it the same, but there are some Midwest guys that use different songs for different companies or switch it up sometimes. So yeah, I think the entrance songs, entrance tracks, and the entrance itself makes for who the character is. So yeah, all right, Jesse.
So on Saturday night, who was your favorite person to meet out of all the wrestlers that were there?
Gosh, it's like telling me to choose my like favorite pizza topping or my favorite cake. I'm not sure I can, like, because everyone in that locker room is just so dynamic in their own way and so interesting in their own way. Like, despite what Fresh keeps saying on the chat, like, he is a funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
He like he can entertain you if he wants to. If he's in the mood and not complaining about like the management or Brandon, you know. He can do that. He can make you have a good time when he really wants to. Like I said before, like, where's your pride to everybody who like who I feel like might be like trying to take the shortcut to the top. Everybody has in that locker room has the potential to be somebody amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like one of the best perks of going there. Like, I met there was a guy there from the guy from Australia, Gorn, right? He was there too. Such an interesting guy. Just like listening to him just talk about the wrestling scene in Australia, and things like that. That is, and just getting to know new people like that. That's amazing and an experience. Each of those guys is an experience. Ones that I will treasure forever. So sorry if I can't get you a single
It's all
solid,
good.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Goran first time in MAW. That's got to be cool to see someone from Australia coming into MAW and just learn about what their path has been and what their territory is. So, yeah. Leonard says his name's Goran Nikoloff. So, yeah, that was his last name. He was actually, yeah. I got to see him twice actually. He was at Below Zero Wrestling the next day in Fargo, North Dakota. So it was really cool to see him twice, and actually got to see Rachel Ellering wrestle twice as well. So it was at the MAW show. So yeah,
Nice.
good stuff. Were you able to talk with Bob Orton or Bill Irwin at the show?
A little bit. I was able to shake their hands.
Oh, yeah.
They're popular guys. What can I say? Like,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not easy to get a word in with them. But I was glad for at least to meet them, if just for a moment.
Yeah. I talked with both of them, got a picture and an autograph with at least Bob's. So yeah. Yeah, it was definitely cool. John Castro says Nikki Pride screwed Gadowski over. Gadowski. Oh. Huh. Wait, who's Gadowski?
Gadowski screwed Gadowski.
Gadowski. Oh, man. Everyone should screw it. Oh, man.
Oh, Leonard talking.
Gadowski now. Oh, man.
Whoa.
Oh,
you can't say that.
Come on, John.
Mm-hmm. You can't say that live.
Now they're just ribbing for Nick, and he didn't do nothing wrong. Come on, guys, be nice.
Toxic. John did say something before. This is more interesting than the summit interview. We actually had the summit a few weeks ago as well. So, oh,
I'll
boy.
have to watch that. I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Yeah. I forgot the date again, but yeah, a few weeks ago, I talked to them about their careers, and they're pretty much veterans now, so it's cool to hear about what they were doing. So, but apparently John doesn't like them. So. Oh my gosh, Jesus! I'm just looking at the chat right now.
They're not keeping it PG-13, Jeryn. There might be kids watching this show.
Might be kids. Oh man.
Oh, that's Leonard.
That's Leonard saying that.
Parents avert your children's gaze from the chat, please.
Oh man, what was that? Jeryn, it makes drives better things.
John,
right.
get off the podcast and drive your semi.
Drive yourself.
We don't need to be responsible for you getting into an accident.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He had to say something about that. Oh man. All right. Yeah. Earlier we were talking about Chris Jericho, sports entertainment, and everything. What do you think is more important, to be a sports entertainer or a professional wrestler?
What a weird question.
I mean, Jericho made it seem like they were separate, and now it is. I guess it's kind of separate now.
That is a matter of personal interpretation, really. What the difference between a professional wrestler and a sports entertainer? Like, other people might disagree with me, but it's a sports entertainment, quote unquote, is a brand. It is a marketing gimmick. It is something made by a team of advertisers, made to make something distinct and stand out and separate from everything else. So it's the same thing with a different label, I would say, in my opinion. Like, there might be people who disagree with that, and that's fine, but just in my opinion, they're one and the same. It's just about the presentation.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's just it's been a big topic since AEW came about, and then it's also become a bigger topic since Jericho said it live on TV, and now everyone thinks WWE is sports entertainment, AEW is pro wrestling. So
yeah, but we see what Jericho did. He did the exact same thing that WWE did in that moment. He made a brand for himself. He made he made it distinct because he separated them. So now it's different, right?
Yeah.
Right. See what he did? He used that gimmick for him. He just took the gimmick and just made it his own.
Yeah. Jericho's great at doing things like that, and it causes controversy, and it's good or bad in wrestling, but I think
it causes heat. I wouldn't say it causes controversy. I'd say this is definitely heat. He's building heat for himself.
That is true. Yeah,
because he's clever.
Yeah, definitely. Jesse.
So, if you had one thing that you could say to MAW Commissioner Brian Sager, what would it be?
Keep up the good work, buddy.
Yeah, that's a good way to. Yeah.
Cool. Nick, Brandon Kinney deserves a raise.
Oh yeah.
We'll make sure to pass that on to him.
Yeah, I'll send it to him. Brandon Kenny needs a raise, guys. Oh man, what is your relationship with Brian Sager, and do you guys talk a lot, or how's that about go?
Yeah, he's cool. He's
cool.
He's a cool guy. I very much appreciate his level-headedness in a tense situation. I think he gets that from. I think he's a middle school teacher And so I think
Yeah.
he's had a lot of practice with trying to keep a level head with when dealing with a bunch of rambunctious youth. So I could definitely see how it translates over to being a professional wrestling commissioner.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So I mean, yeah, good. He's a good teacher, I guess. So, yeah. Uh, oh man, what was it? All right, let me check the comments. There was so much stuff going through here. I don't know if I got through it all. Uh,
John said he's parked and he got hit last night. Well, that sounds like his own problem. He shouldn't have been parked where he was parked.
I'm
parked in
sorry,
the
buddy.
yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't get hit.
yeah.
John says, "Love you, Nikki." Yeah. hmm
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Uh, what I mean, what are you hoping? What are you hoping to do in the future of your pro wrestling career?
Like I said, I never know what tomorrow might bring. Like it, like just a solid answer. I want to take this as far as I can possibly take it, and also I want to give it back because like it's not just wrestling that gives me fulfillment. It's being able to like go back to the academy and like tell all of the new recruits and new students like, hey, this is what I've learned. Please use it or use this information better than I did. You know,
Yeah.
that's like those are the things that give me the most fulfillment. I think in wrestling, going out and doing the best I can and trying to up myself every time and being able to take anything and everything I've learned and bringing it back to anybody who's willing to learn from my experience.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I think it's always important to give back and spread knowledge. And I mean, there's so many. I think at MAW, I saw a lot of the MAW shirt people there, and I'm assuming they're young academy guys. So I think they definitely look like they want to learn and just learn how to production of wrestling, being a wrestler, refereeing. So yeah.
Yeah, we got a good batch of students like about to they're like every single day. It's so great to like watch them learn and watch them become like better and better. And like with each passing week, you can see them become a better like getting closer to the version of the wrestler that they want to be. And like I'm just grateful for the opportunity to watch them and help them in any way that I can. Like if you know if my experience would be worth anything to them, you know, I'd want to share it and just see them grow because it's just like it's the future. You're watching the future like unfold before your eyes, and I'm very excited about the future. If this group of guys coming up is anything to is going to be anything, it's going to be a lot of fun to see.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Oh yeah. What was if you or your opponent makes a mistake in the ring, how do you guys discuss it after the match?
Well, like, you know, like with anything else, there's evaluation, there's critique, there's like with earlier I mentioned my match with Ryan Cruz. Now, ultimately, everyone liked the match, but Ryan Cruz and Johnny Parks and Terry Fox all were like throwing in like their 2 cents. Like it's like I remember Johnny Parks like just little things like you should probably be bumping a little harder there and get. Oh, I was about to swear quoting him, but I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm going to catch myself. Get your effing hair out of your face. You know, things like that. Like little, like a lot of. It was a lot of little things, but it was a lot of useful things, like things that I could. That like I should definitely keep my hair out of my face or things like that, or I could hit the ground harder. You know, things like that. I can make my moves bigger. I can do all of these things. There is not a single piece of advice that is not useful in this business. I think anything and everything you're told, absorb it like a sponge. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like there's evaluation, there's critique. You might look at the tape. You might try to figure out what went wrong if it really was that bad, and because it happens. Things mess up. So what are you going to do about it besides like try to learn from your mistake?
Yeah. Especially when you're in a live crowd, you can't really like be mad about it. You got to keep going and keep wrestling and learn after.
Figure it out. We're live.
Yeah.
No starting over. We're live.
Can't restart a live interview for WWE or anything. So
yeah, we're live, pal.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesse?
Yeah, I do have one question for Thomas in the chat room. What do you think of when the system calls you Larry Library?
Larry Library. Yeah. System and literacy are they've had some heat over the years, I guess. So they've had a title match before as well. So yeah.
I think Nick was there when the MAW was at Faribault the first time. That was the night when the system went in the garbage can.
Oh, that's yeah.
You missed that one, Jeryn. That was funny.
Yeah, I've heard about it. It sounded like it was pretty good. So poor system.
Yeah. He calls you Larry Library.
Isn't
the guy a musician? He can come up with something more creative than Larry Library, right?
Yeah.
Library.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, library.
Well, actually, come to think of it, I've never actually seen him play the violin in MAW. I've just seen him walk out with it.
That's true.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, we still have
next to doubt.
Yeah. Well, at least
taking a page out of Pete stirring the pot.
Pete stirring.
I'm stirring the pot now.
Oh. Yeah, system. Why haven't you played yet? So.
Yeah, we want to know that.
Yeah, he's played in other companies, but I haven't seen him in MAW yet. He just carries it out. He uses it as a weapon at the end or during the match. So, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Jim Cornette actually play tennis?
There we go. Oh man, that would be quite a sight to see. Jim Cornette just yelling at the other guys as he's playing tennis or something. So, oh man. Oh, P King says I'm always stirring the pot, keep things interesting. So that is true. So
yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah. I might already know the answer to this, but what is your inspiration for your hairstyle?
Well, a few people. Chris Jericho is definitely one of them. Edge, Triple H, all three people I have claimed as my father at one point or another. Honestly, like the my wife.
Now the wife jokes are starting to come there.
She does like it, so yeah, that's always a plus. But like really, the story with my hair is actually kind of different because like there was a point in my life where I really didn't have a problem cutting my hair, right? But then I got a new job. Earlier I mentioned that I couldn't do Black and Brave because I got a new job. This is that job. I became a corrections officer at a prison, and I had misinterpreted a rule in the rule book saying that I had to have my hair like at a certain length. It said that it couldn't be past my ears. What I had interpreted this as I couldn't have hair longer than past my ears. So I neglected to think that, oh, I could just like tie it up in a bun or something on top of my head and that'd be fine, which it would have been. But no, I had fairly long hair at the time, but I cut it all off because I thought that's what the job required. So
Mm.
that's what I did. And the first or second day in, we are fitted for uniforms, right? And the guy and a guy comes in fitting us for uniforms, and I kid you not, I say this with no hyperbole, no exaggeration, the longest hair I had ever seen on a man.
Mm.
Like it went to the floor. Okay? Like from his head to the floor. The longest hair I had ever seen on a man, and just something in my mind when like, huh.
Hmm.
I feel like I got cheated a little bit.
Mhm.
Like it was completely my fault for misinterpreting the rule, but like somehow I can't help but feel like I've been cheated. So since that day I hadn't actually cut my hair for about 3.5 years. I actually just a few days ago, just last week, just cut off 2 inches of my hair just to kind of keep it neat and even. And that was the first time I had cut it in like 3.5 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's interesting to learn that you were a corrections officer. I mean, I don't know how much you can talk about that, but was it good learning experience, I guess? Or
I would absolutely say it was a huge learning experience. I had learned a lot about the prison system, and specifically that this might just be my personal opinion. I don't think it works very well for anti-recidivism, meaning that I don't think it's a very effective system for like punishing people very much. I don't. It's it just feels like you stick a guy in there with a bunch of other criminals. Like, what is he supposed to learn besides like if you arrest a guy for like committing a crime, like if he's robbing somebody, and you stick him in a prison for like if let's say he's selling drugs or something, right? Let's say a guy is selling drugs. You stick him in a prison. He doesn't get an opportunity to actually learn any useful education or skills to better himself, and you release him, and he needs money because maybe he has a family or something that he needs to feed. Like, what skill is he going to resort to? You know what I mean? Like the one that actually made him money. It's just like if we maybe had a better system for. I feel like we have a long ways to go before our incarceration system is perfect. You know, but that's just me. And at the same time, it also made me learn a lot about giving people second chances, because some of these guys that are behind bars made it just a stupid mistake, a mistake that anyone could have made. They were just the unlucky ones that got caught. And so there are times when you just like you need to look past a person's history and not see them for who they were, but for who they are. And I thank prison for teaching me that. I thank the fact that I was a corrections officer for teaching me to give people the benefit of the doubt, to give them more chances. Otherwise, I don't think I would have made it as far in life as I have without learning that lesson, to not see people for who they were, but for who they are and who they're trying to be.
okay. Yeah, I think that's awesome to hear how your aspect on that, and I agree. And there's been so many movies like they portray like just the badness, and I think yeah, I think they could be, or at least in real life, be doing a little better, or probably a lot better of a job in terms of that. So yeah. Okay. All right, Jesse.
I think that's all I have for you, Nick. We appreciate having you on, and it was great to have you on, and hopefully we can have you on again soon.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that, guys. Thank you so much.
You're
Mm-hmm.
welcome.
Yeah. Thank you for being on, and hope to see you at more MAW shows, and hopefully when MIW puts shows out, I hope you're on that as well. So yeah.
Absolutely, definitely like check out any of the upcoming MAW and MIW shows. I am very likely going to be on those shows for anyone who might be interested in actually watching me wrestle, and I'll keep everybody updated on the Nick Pride Facebook page about any other bookings that I might get at different companies, and I'll be glad to see anyone who wants to be there.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe APW or WGW. That would be awesome to see. So yeah. All right. Thank you for being on, Nick, and hope you have a nice rest of your day. So, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate this.
Yeah. Hey, Jeryn, but before we end the live, do we want to plug the 8 o'clock show at Johnny Oxbow?
Oh yeah, we should do that. Yeah, so we were planning some stuff, and we had a couple people drop out, but we have an 8 p.m. show today. We have the system's personal videographer and editor, Johnny Oxbow, on the show. He'll be on 8 p.m. talk about the system, what his plans are, being a producer of Below Zero Wrestling. So if you want to check that out, that'll be 8 p.m. on my Facebook profile, and also the Phenomenal Figures Instagram profile. So if you want to check that out, definitely check that out. And yeah, I can't wait to see you. And I think Johnny will love some questions. So yeah, keep them coming.
We'll see everyone at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. All right. You have a nice night, Nick.
You guys too. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Live is ending.